Hey, business owners, welcome to Futurise Your Business interview series. With me is the New South Wales Small Business Commissioner, Chris Lamont. Chris, big welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fabulous. Chris, you've just taken over this role as the Small Business Commissioner for New South Wales. How do you see the future for small businesses in the light of COVID?
Look, I think COVID gives us a bit of a sense in some respects of the future for small businesses. Businesses will need to be more agile, they'll need to be more flexible. Their digital presence and their need to innovate, not once every 5 years, but every week. So I think COVID has been a bit of a catalyst in some respects, giving insight as to the future for business. We know that businesses that have multifaceted exchanges with their customers, whether it be the internet or through various apps, are doing better. We also know that businesses that are adjusting business models, that are pivoting, not just surviving during this time, but actually thriving. So I think COVID, yes, there are so many negatives from COVID, and we're dealing with those every single day. But for many small businesses, it's providing a bit of a blueprint for the future. And I think that'll be really important, as not just during this time, but as we get into recovery and beyond.
Absolutely. And you're right. During times of crisis, it is about acting. And if we act in the right direction, as some businesses have done, they have not just survived. And you use the word thrive, and no doubt some businesses that I know of very well are doing extremely well, but not everybody, because it's tough out there. I just was having a discussion with a cafe owner who said, things are improving, but it hasn't got back to what it was, but he was positive, and that was really nice to hear. From what you're seeing, what messages do you have for the small businesses on meeting these opportunities so that they can really thrive, as you say, and also to meet the challenges that they experience on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I think it starts for those businesses that employ, looking after your staff at the moment. So recognize that some form of isolation during this period will exist for all of us, whether that's isolation from friends and family, whether that's isolation from work colleagues. Looking after your staff at this point is so critical. Now, the government has a range of initiatives and support measures, but connecting with your staff on a daily basis will help them get through it, but also help your business get through it, because we know that employees in small businesses are just so important. They are the face of your business. They are the relationship managers with your customers, and they will grow and protect your business in the years ahead. So my starting point with the businesses that I'm speaking to is to look after your staff, be really conscious of mental health at the moment, and there are supports that are available to staff. The other thing at the moment, and we're stressing this with the commission messaging, is around COVID safety. So the importance of registering as a COVID safe business and registering a COVID safe plan. They are the fundamentals at this point. And so we want to make sure that all small businesses are doing that. But going beyond that, I think it's important for business to see their custom, their trade, their industry beyond COVID. It can be very paralyzing to see the future of your business through a 1 week increment or a 2 week increment. I think businesses need to start planning for recovery. Businesses need to start looking at the future. Now, whether that be technology future, whether that be further innovation or future investment, or just the market itself, understanding what's going on in their market, in their area, absolutely critical at this point.
Chris, you couldn't have said it better, and that's absolutely true, because businesses have to look at it past COVID. As we all know, the world as we know it has completely changed, and consumer behavior has changed. The buying behavior of our customers have changed. And it is in understanding these changes that we can take that action. And if we can understand the new needs of our consumers and to set a vision beyond COVID, as you correctly said, and then that's when we can become confident and keep moving forward. So really well said there. I want to go back to your role as the Commissioner for Small Business in New South Wales. It is a much needed role. It was done by the legendary Robin Hobbs, who we all know, and I think she was very much loved by small business. Whoever met her understood her passion for small business. Chris, what can we see from you under your leadership?
Look, hopefully we'll continue to do the things that the Commission has done for many years under Robin and previous commissioners. I really want to have that exchange, that two-way exchange. So yes, provide information, yes, deal with industry groups and regions and industry sectors, but also actively listen. And whether that be through targeted surveys, whether that be through social media channels, and the old-fashioned way of getting out there and meeting, which I hope to be able to do as soon as possible. But to be an independent advocate and to be an effective one, we have to get the messages from business in real time. No point reacting in 6 months or 12 months. I need to know what's happening on the ground now. Now, there are some obvious limitations with that at this point, but I think you'll see more requests for information from the Commission, more surveying by the Commission. And I'll be asking for the real data, not anecdotes, but what is happening in your business, what is happening in a location, because the experience is very different from Metro Sydney to Orange or Wagga. So we need to capture that. And I think it's probably, there's more noise in the data than there's ever been before. So we need to reconcile what the data is saying and suggesting with the first-hand experiences of small business operators.
That's great. And it's really great to hear that you really want to go and meet the business owners and get the information firsthand through social media or face-to-face. It's hard to meet people face-to-face, as you correctly said, because often the biggest issue people in high office like yourself and ministers have is that you're fed with what the departments and the bureaucrats always want you to know, and the data is even often skewed. That's the reality. It's not in any one country. That's what happens. And I think meeting people face to face, meeting business people and understanding the real issues would be a great way to then, will be a great barometer to create that action that is behind the Commission. Thank you for the way you look at it. Right now, the way you see it, what are the top priorities of your office?
Look, number one is getting information out there. I've seen so many grant programs that haven't been accessed. I've seen supports that too many small businesses don't know about. And I see some really rich data sets that businesses aren't reviewing, but should be. So that information exchange, providing a central point of truth that I think the Commission can do very well through its website, through its communication network. So we'll be working with the industry associations right across New South Wales to highlight not just information coming out of New South Wales government, but from the ATO, from other agencies, information that we think at relevant points in time will be of support or assistance to small business. So really want to harness the power of industry associations. It's quite difficult for me to speak to 2.8 million small businesses all at once, but I can use the instruments and the levers that are there to get the messages out. So that's what we intend to do. We've already seen some new ways of communication, a new e-bulletin, some more information on our website, and working with our partners and agencies like Service New South Wales, like Department of Customer Service, to get the information out there. And as I mentioned before, feed that information back. If something's not working, not just say that it's not working, but come up with a solution as to how we fix it.
Fantastic. And you mentioned Service New South Wales as a source of getting the information out. What are the major grants and programs that small businesses need to know about, and how are you planning to get that information out?
Yeah, so once again, working with Service, but we'll have our own updates. So look, a range of grants. Obviously, people were very focused in the last couple of weeks around JobKeeper 2.0, and that announcement's been made now. But there are programs for mentally healthy workplaces. There's $50,000 in grants per business available for that at the moment. I want to really highlight and shine a light on that. There's the $3,000 business recovery grant. There's still grants available for bushfire affected areas, and we note that we are still getting applications for those. So good in one sense, concerning in another, that people haven't taken up those opportunities previously. So I think putting a bit of a net around all of the different grants, regardless of whether they're state or federal, highlighting the opportunities for small businesses that need them, and highlighting the assistance measures. Sometimes it's not financial assistance. Sometimes it's just information or knowing how to do things better. I mentioned the COVID safety plans. At the moment, can I suggest to you that if you've got a COVID safety registered plan and the certification in your building or in your premises, you're going to give so much confidence to potential customers and so much assurance to your staff that it's worth doing it, and worth doing it not only for doing the right thing, but worth doing it in a practical, supportive way for your business and business turnover.
Thanks very much, and absolutely some really wise words there. You mentioned earlier on during my first question the importance for small business to be innovative, look at innovation, and to improve their digital presence and the use of technology. Do you believe business owners need to reinvent themselves post-COVID and rethink their business models to be really successful?
I think they should be doing it now. I'm always made aware of new things in the sense of the way I engage with small business or businesses and the information. Very few people have time to drive the main street of their town searching for the product that they are looking for. They use the internet, they use social media, and it amazes me the number of small businesses that don't have a presence on either social media or the web. That's custom that have gone. They've gone to their competitors, they've gone to another location, or they've decided not to purchase when they wanted to. So I really want to get back to some of the basics in many respects of innovation. And innovation for me in that space is about appealing and adjusting your business model to the broadest possible marketplace. And at this point, that's online. It doesn't substitute necessarily bricks and mortar, but it does augment it.
Again, thank you so much, Commissioner. Some really wise words there. Again, it doesn't augment brick and mortar. It doesn't replace brick and mortar, but innovation and e-commerce augments that. And you quite rightly said, people today, their buying behavior has changed so much that they don't have the time to go to store or go in store to make purchases. And the times they want to buy something are probably at the times when most businesses are closed, when people are lying on their couches in the weekends or at night when they are a bit free to do so. So some really wise words there. I want to ask you a bunch of questions here because I want the small businesses in New South Wales to get to know our Commissioner a bit better. I hope you don't mind me asking these questions, but I'm going to ask you 10 questions very quickly. Is that okay?
That's fine.
And I'm going to really shoot through so to give me some quick answers, so not much time to think. Your favorite person?
My nephew, Oliver. Without a doubt, I've watched him grow up from a baby. So number one.
Fantastic. Favorite city?
Favorite city, probably a little town called Home Hill in North Queensland. Favorite major city, probably Sydney.
Fantastic. Best movie?
Best movie. Anything, the Lord of the Rings series. I probably can't pick one. There's 3 of them. So Lord of the Rings.
There you go. Most memorable moment?
Graduating from university with an economics degree. I remember that vividly.
Fantastic. Which uni was that?
James Cook University in North Queensland.
Song you love most?
Elvis Presley. Little less conversation, little more action. Very apt in a policy sense.
Absolutely. Biggest achievement?
Probably the delivery of the Commonwealth Housing Stimulus Program. So $5.6 billion in infrastructure delivered across the country.
Fantastic. 3 things you hate?
Brussels sprouts, Monday mornings, and the cold.
I thought you lived in a little town close to Canberra.
Hence the comment on the cold.
There you go. 3 things you love?
Music, red wine, and long weekends.
Fantastic. What stumps you?
What stumps me? Social media at times, and public opinion on social media.
That's for sure. Best advice you can give a loved one?
Look after your health.
Fantastic. Thank you, Commissioner. Thanks very much for your time. Really appreciated you joining us in this Futurise Your Business interview series. I am sure the small businesses across New South Wales are delighted to have you on board, to have a new commissioner who is looking after their affairs. And thank you for your insights.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.